Hey guys, D.Bowie here, and this is how pro players outplay you, featuring Moo, EG.FEAR, Matumbaman, and Resolut1on. In this Weaver game, Resolut1on has 82 CS at 10 minutes, even though he died and participated in 3 kills. So what's the catch here? Resolut1on was very disciplined in taking every Beastmaster creep whenever he could. That's not all, whenever possible he tried his best to make side pulls even though he had no supporting lane to increase his farming potential. In this particular clip, he also forces Beastmaster back to the lane, and look how he uses Shukuchi to last hit as well as close the gap with the boar and maybe try to kill him. Another cool aspect of this game is the OO power spike utilization. Warlock already used Fatal Bonds, Resolut1on is level 6, and as soon as Beastmaster closes the gap and he certifies that Beastmaster is still level 4, he can easily dive him. Beastmaster played very well, to be honest. By walking as he right-clicked the bug, Resolut1on loses vision. That in itself forced the second Shukuchi that Resolut1on didn't expect to use, and since the boar didn't allow Reso to use salve right away, he ends up trying to play greedy and dies to the Earth Spirit rotation. He probably didn't have a magic stick in this game because for a big part of the early game, Beastmaster wasn't even in the lane. But keep watching, when he comes back, we see that not only he was destroying Beastmaster's pet, he has an amazing grasp in less hitting creeps under the tower. First of all, he times Shukuchi to deal damage to the creep the tower was focusing, as well as the one he wanted to take down. Pay attention how close he is to the creeps as well, to guarantee that he has less hitting advantage over the tower. In the end, he only misses one range creep, very impressive. At the same time, he already identifies that a side pull was made and immediately goes there, taking all the less hits again by using Shukuchi. Earth Spirit and Beastmaster decide to go aggressive in his lane, and look what Resolut1on's first reaction is. He goes for the pets. Not only they offer a lot of chasing potential to the Dire team, but they are easy gold. As he uses his first skill, he keeps focusing the boars, only to pop Shukuchi later, killing Beastmaster. We can see him constantly going for the boars, especially now that he has more DPS and levels of Shukuchi. As the team starts playing aggressive in the ancient area of the offlane, Reso uses that time to farm the large camp, the creep wave, and times another Shukuchi to kill the Invis Hawk and finish the camp off. Crispy play. I did talk a little bit about it in the last carry video, but usually carry plays aren't very flashy. One thing I want to mention from the start is Moo's pick. Leshrac core, especially as a carry, is something very rare today, and I hope that with the new nerfs to agility and physical damage carries, we see more of the disco pony. Anyways, my point here is how good this pick is. It's amazing against PL because the illusions will always crumble to the magic damage. It wrecks Timbersaw for the same reason, and he can deal damage to heroes like Pudge and Magnus even under their disables. I really like the pick, and even though I don't have access to the draft, I'm pretty sure it was a 4th or 5th pick, considering how good the pick is and how rarely we usually see the hero. So let's talk about getting kills in lane with Flash, since a lot of people struggle with landing his stun. Good lane partners for Leshrac are usually heroes that have slows or stuns, preferably stuns, so that you can stack Kioras afterwards. In this first clip, the roaming Chaos Knight shows up in the lane. A key point of this skill happening is the fact that he TPs to the lane with it being very pushed, but that's not all. Moo pulls the lane creeps towards the stacked large camp, forcing Timbersaw to come closer to the tower. Thanks to Moo's boots that he got in the side shop, he's able to follow up to Chaos Knight's stun that unfortunately lasted only 1 second. And yeah, this skill's kinda basic, so let's talk about juicier stuff. Moo is now level 6. It's nighttime, and after farming that huge stack, he brings himself some regen that he will use to kill Timbersaw. Pay attention how he does it. The obvious choice would be starting with stun. He even considers it, but he wouldn't be able to chase Timbersaw so far. Instead, he kinda baits Timbersaw in, he just walks in with ult to turn it on. But the prey becomes the hunter, and pay close attention to how he casts the stun. Did you see it? He was going to cast it first, but Timber had that little bit of vision of him, so he waits until Timber goes behind the trees, and now the chances that Timbersaw dodge the stun are way smaller. Easy stun and crispy vision awareness. This is one very interesting clip. Moo is going towards the mid tier 1 tower when suddenly Magnus RPs everyone. Not only that, Chaos Knight gets killed right at the beginning of the fight. Yeah, they turn the fight around, but but this is a 4 vs 3, right? Should they be YOLOing with Black Hole down and Legion still dead? I mean, Moo keeps on going against two very healthy heroes that deal a lot of pure damage. He even gets hooked and doesn't give up. Great stun, tons of kills, so let's go back to that fight. Look at the Radiant ultimates. Finger, Dismember, RP, and while Lash is not afraid of a PL, so even though the fight is theoretically 3 vs 4, not only Radiant is all out of ultimates and they are very important ones, Lion blinked away with no HP. Playing aggressive accordingly is something very important, especially when you're playing a Bloodstone carry. Let's talk Huskar a little bit. Huskar is a very tricky hero to play right. It's not only about armlet toggling, it's about less hitting in the lane. A lot of Huskars properly win the lane early on, getting the lane out for themselves, and then they start armlet with the helm instead of blades of attack that our old man Fear goes for. On top of that, he has a Fairy Fire that does help a fair bit early on considering how little is your base damage. Let's keep going though. How to engage? When? Usually armlet is the time you know you can take some fights, but during the almost 90 minutes of the laning phase, Fear played pretty passive against Magnus. At this stage though, he uses a combination of different factors. Let's pay attention to some factors he probably considered when going for Magnus. 1. He has Dazzle with him. 2. It's nighttime. He uses that to get very close to Magnus and only engages as he goes towards the range creep. Even though Magnus disengages fairly fast, the ult gets him. Let's first talk about how he uses Mordecian. He turns Mordecian only when close to touching Magnus. A lot of people engage with the item turned on, and this is one of those cases where you would lose a fair bit of HP while doing nothing. You can argue that turning armlet before allows you to have max strength when you start attacking him, and that's true, but at this stage of the game, Burning Spears is a way bigger part of your damage. Losing HP in exchange for a few attacks with a little bit more strength isn't really worth it. Magnus feels like he will waste RP, and in the end Sunstrike kills him before he can consider otherwise. But keep watching. To be honest, Dazzle played pretty well. He waits Epicenter to start doing damage before committing Grave, and pay attention to Fear. With Magic Missile being committed, he doesn't feel afraid of diving Sand King. Pay attention how he doesn't turn Armlet off until Caustic Finale procs once. Magic Missile is still not ready, and as he is running away, he gets hit by Tiny Stun. Again, pay attention how he only turns Armlet off as soon as the secondary Caustic Finale procs, not only getting a kill on Venge, while also disengaging safely. You can't learn this by just watching and understanding, boys. You have to play a lot of pubs. And go get yourself a shitty chair and a shitty desk if you want a faster process. A lot of people have the impression that Huskar is the type of hero that just starts killing everyone from minute 10 and then wins the game at minute 20. Farming with Huskar is forbidden and you should be reported. The thing though is that not only Huskar, but the game changed a lot since the last patch where Huskar was very relevant. He has talents now, there are a ton of different items that you kinda want on him and they didn't exist back then. And after that kill on Magnus, he didn't fight for close to 5 minutes. Huskars can do Ancients fairly well now. Also, enemies now have shrines to TP to, and to be honest, Dire's team is not the easiest team for Huskar to engage. A lot of stuns and slows to control you. The only time he decides to engage aggressively is after having his Morbid Mask as well as that double damage. He kills Tiny, that got greedy there, and when he dives Venge, pay attention how he only turns the armlet midway towards reaching her. I love that Fear doesn't clump up under Sandstorm and instead let Darkseer lead the way, and we see even more kills to our old man Fear. Morphling is another hero that as of now is kind of situational. Liquid does play it eventually, but he is not flavor of the month for sure. Almost always, you do give the lane matchup towards X when he's facing melee heroes or short-ranged ones. Yet Matumba gets an amazing kill on X. Pay attention to the details. X TPs in, and the first step of the kill are the clicking patterns to the extreme left to make sure he won't get called in front of the tower and all those creeps. The TP takes too long, and I guess you should watch it first. If you pay attention, Matumbaman doesn't spam ult as soon as X shows up. He waits until the creep wave is very close to X, meaning that he will have free aggro in that illusion. Another key aspect of the kill is that he clicked X during waveform. He has freaking 500 HP here when he goes for this. If he doesn't attack during that duration, there's the chance that COL and the Witch Doctor stun is enough to kill him. This is seriously amazing. This is another amazing kill, especially because it's against an X. He spots X in the low ground and positions himself to create another illusion of him. Pay attention how he tries his best to always be facing X. What he wants to do here is waste Berserker's Call while he waveforms away. So he keeps dragging X towards him, and when he spots that Tinker is there and the two enemy heroes are aligned, this is the perfect way to go in. But watch everything. He starts that fight with 500 HP again. You need to be very pro-efficient with Morphling if you wish to do something similar. So you can see that as he waveforms, he already starts Morphling Strength. He indeed forces Berserker's Call for nothing, and I love how fast he is with the TP after Grave when he knows that Storm won't re-engage to cancel it. That combined with the X illusion guarantees him that kill, as well as pretty much 100% uptime in his farming speed. He even brings the illusion towards the Ancients that he wants to farm, as well as a Belny rune that he completely ignores. Fucking piece of shit noob. Well, this wraps up for today. If you enjoyed this video, please guys give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the extended version of this video, please check the link in the description. Pugna is a platform where you can learn from people like Chessie, Fog, Monip, and get better at the game. They have now great content on the new patch, and if you want to raise your MMR, this is a great time. Just figure out the patch faster than others and get those easy wins. On top of that, he gets an extra no talisman, and that's actually becoming pretty common even when you don't go for Veil, which now seems to be pretty much never. I feel like this is basically a way to deal with the low base attack damage from OD and to give him a tiny bit of extra mana. You really need at least 2 levels of the passive to sustain some aggression with Arcane Orb, so at level 6 his build looks like this. I really like the progression and I feel that it makes a lot of sense, especially against melee heroes. I also like the item progression a lot. Instead of trying to rush Thread,